Hey guys, Cameron here, and this is going to be kind of a more somber, heartfelt, one of those emotional types of videos. I don't do these often, but I do them on occasion when something's on my mind that I want to talk about, but it's hard to talk about, I guess is the best way to put it. Yeah, these are always tough for me to do. I'm one of those people who is very emotional, but when I have to show it, I don't want to. I very much hide a lot of my emotions. And if you watch the video of me talking about my battle with depression, you know what I'm talking about. There's still family members of mine who don't know I've gone through that, and so it's one of those things, where I don't want to talk about things a lot, and it screws me up more than I already am. But today's video is about loss. More importantly, loss of friends. For those of you who don't know, I tried not to talk about it too much. A month ago, I lost a friend in a car accident. He was driving home from, I think, a dance. It was the night of a dance. I don't know if he was actually going or if he was dropping somebody off or what was going on. He was driving home from a dance when he accidentally went off the road and hit a tree. He didn't make it. He died on his way to the hospital. And that's one of those things where I didn't really think about it at first. I heard about it. It was late at night when I heard about it. Paige turned to me and said that somebody got in a car accident up in Morley and that their name was TJ and they were 19. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, okay, please don't let it be my friend TJ. Let it be somebody else named TJ. Let it be somebody else. As soon as I heard that. Sadly, it was him. About a day later, we found that out. And it was a hard day for me. Learning that one of my best friends died. 19 years old. He had his whole life ahead of him, and he's gone. God damn, this is hard. And my dog is not making it easier by just running around like an idiot upstairs. For those of you wondering, I did not go to his funeral. I didn't want to accept it. I paid my respects to them, and I said goodbye to him in the best way I could by not being there, because if I was there, I would have just been a cold, emotionless... I would look like a cold, emotionless dickhead. Because it's what I do at funerals. I bottle my feelings up. I don't show them. For those of you who may not know, in the span of about 2 years, or a few years ago, I had a lot of death. I lost my grandfather, and I lost I lost my aunt, and I lost my great aunt, and I just didn't show anything at any of them. I stood there like a terrible person, just sitting there trying not to let emotions out, because that's who I am. Just sat there emotionless, and I probably got a lot of weird stares, and I'm sure I got a lot of weird stares. But I just couldn't do that to TJ's family. I was like, I'm not going there, because if I go there, I'm going to look like an asshole. I'm going to be the only one not crying. I'm going to be the only one sitting over there just kind of sitting there with my hands in my lap, thinking and praying that, that he's okay up wherever he's at. And I don't want to do that to his family, because I know his dad, and his dad was one of my favorite teachers. So I don't want to go there and bring everyone down more than they already were. So I didn't go. A few days later, his mom posted on his Facebook saying that they would do kind of like goodbyes for him, because there was a lot of people who couldn't go and stuff. And I did record one. I recorded about an 8-minute long goodbye to one of my best friends. And then it wouldn't send throughout anything. It was too big of a file. So I just deleted it. And I think that was the hardest thing to do, because that was me realizing this isn't fake. This isn't a dream. He's actually gone. That was me coming to terms with that, and it was hard. It was hard to actually verbalize everything from that past 2 weeks from there. But yeah, it was tough. I didn't want to have to accept it. I was like, no, he's not gone. And then as soon as I made that video and finished it, I was like, that was me saying goodbye to him. And it was not easy. Again, I go back to my video about my battle with depression. For those of you who don't know, I went through it a lot throughout high school, on and off throughout all 4 years. And my senior year was when it was really starting to get worse again. And, you know, I had been the topic of multiple very bad rumors, and I was just like, you know what, I want out of here. I was like, I'm getting out of here one way or the other. I'm either getting out of here in a body bag, or I'm getting out of here because I want to get out of here. So as soon as, like, my junior year, as soon as my counselor was like, hey, are either of you, because there was 2 of us in the room at the time, either of you planning on graduating early? I was like, I am. I was like, I didn't give any reasons. I didn't say, like, why I didn't want to be there. I just said me. I don't want to. I was like, I want to graduate early. And I did. I was happy that I did. And TJ only really got there around senior year. So I think he was there. I think he was there junior and senior year. I met him junior year, but I really got to know him better a lot during senior year. And he made my last 6 or 7 months of high school bearable. He made me think less about the rumors going around. You know, he looked at me as a person and didn't immediately think of rumors, you know, and shun me and throw me away, you know, and stop talking to me immediately as soon as he found out, like, oh, there's a rumor about him and all this crap, like a lot of people who I thought were friends did. It really showed that there's actually people who aren't complete and total douchebags and assholes in the world. He was honestly a person at that school who was like, why the fuck are you here? Like, this school is like 1,000 times worse than what you could be doing. You could be doing 1,000 times better in terms of schools. Why the hell are you here? You know, it really made me think, like, why is somebody so nice at a school this shitty? Like, at a school with a bunch of these shitty people. But he made it bearable, you know. He made me actually realize, you know, there's people that are still actually friends and can still actually show kindness to people, to someone viewed as an outcast by literally the entire school at that point. And I didn't care. I got to that point where I was like, you know what? If I end up committing suicide, I'm blaming everyone at this fucking school. Like, that was literally going through my head about 90% of the time I was in high school. There's literally like 4 people that aren't going to be on that list. Everyone else at this school is going to be on that fucking list. Everyone else is going to be put in there. It's like, you're the reason why, you're the reason why. It's going to be like 13 reasons why, only the entire fucking school. And I don't know, TJ helped me to realize there's more, I guess. He helped me realize that it wasn't the worst. You know, it would get better and all that, and it helped a lot. I remember one day, because we hung out during lunch playing video games in one of the teachers' rooms, he was playing some JRPG, and we were having a conversation about how, in context, JRPG, so I just said Japanese games, are really hard. Someone else butts in saying, Mario's not hard, Zelda's not hard, and I was like, dude, you weren't in the conversation. We weren't just talking about Japanese games as a whole. We were talking about JRPGs specifically. And he's like, well, then say JRPGs. I was like, if you were in the conversation, you would have known what we were talking about. It's like, just butt out. And he helped, you know, he backed me up and said, yeah, dude, you weren't in our conversation. This is what we were talking about, you know? And that really made me, you know, I was like, holy shit, he just backed me up against somebody that I did not expect him to. Because, you know, they were kind of a group, all of the people that played there, and I was just kind of there because I had nowhere else to go, really. I was like, fuck it. It's like, I like video games, and Lunch was basically just the time when I ate and then went and took a fucking nap. Literally, that was all I did at lunch was just slept because I didn't care anymore. Um, yeah, and he really made me like, I was like, holy shit, he just stuck up for me. I was like, why did he do that? You see how fucked up my mind is now, guys. You're starting to realize how fucked up. Like, you guys are starting to realize the owner of this channel has such a fucked up mind. Like, you guys watch this. What is wrong with you? But we did a lot. I talked to TJ like every day at school. He was probably one of the only people I actually talked to every day. We did a project. I've talked about this a lot over the past few years, I'm pretty sure. We did a project where we did The Walking Dead as a kids show. And it was probably the best project I've ever done in my life at a school. And all I did was come up with an idea. I said, look, I was like, I had an idea. And he's like, what? I was like, The Walking Dead as like a kids show. He's like, what do you mean by kids show? I was like, you know, like those like early like childhood shows that come on that do like the counting and the vocabulary and the colors and stuff. And that was our idea. That was the idea I had, and he loved it and he ran with it and he made it something amazing. You know, it was amazing. It turned out 1,000 times better than I ever thought it could have. That's what he did with projects. He made them his own, and he made them hilariously funny. He did this one project called The Masked Sock, and it was so fantastically out there and hilarious, and it was just oh my god, it was the best thing ever. It was, I think, probably the funniest thing I've ever seen somebody do for an English project. It was just, I don't know, he was, I don't know how to describe it. He was a light in a otherwise completely dark tunnel for me, I guess. You know, I looked at where my life was going that year and I was like I'm graduating early, but to what? You know, for what am I graduating for, you know? For some reason, working, you know, hanging out with him every day and talking to him and stuff, I ended up getting to a point where I was trying a lot harder in school. It's what ended up, you know, making me a lot happier with school. And, you know, I was like, okay, I'm fine with going here now. You know, I actually got more friends that year that really showed that they cared, and, you know, it was awesome to actually have people who cared. And yeah, you know, I've been talking the past like month or so about how I'm getting into D&D slightly. You know, at least I think I've talked about it on this channel. I might not have, but I think I have, and it's because of him. You know, he was DMing for a few of, I would say me and his friends, but more or less his friends. Most of them hated me, so I didn't really care. But he was DMing for them, and I was kind of interested in joining because I'd heard about D&D before, and I was like, okay, this sounds kind of interesting, but I've never actually tried it. I was like, I could actually use a good friend who knows what the hell he's doing, you know, could help me out slightly. So I talked to TJ, but at the time his game was full, so I was like, okay, maybe some other time. And I never got the chance, sadly. I didn't really get fully into D&D until this year, and so it's a little too late, I guess, is the best way to put it. I remember the last conversation me and him had too. It was at graduation. We had just, you know, like gotten done doing the cap toss and all that. And I walked over to him because I wanted to say goodbye to him because I hadn't seen him, you know, most of the day during graduation because his last name starts with a Q, my last name starts with a D. So I'm like one of the first people and he's, you know, way at the back. So it was kind of like, okay, I'm going to have to, talk to him outside once we get outside to do the cap toss, because for some reason, we actually did the ceremony inside, but the cap toss outside. It was very confusing. My school's weird sometimes. But we went outside to do the cap toss, and we did it, and I saw him over there talking to his dad, and I went and shook his dad's hand. I caught up with him because I hadn't seen him since 8th grade, and I immediately said, look, TJ, we got to hang out sometime after this, man. We can't let this be the last time we see each other for, 10, 20 years, whatever. Because, typically you have like a 10-year, 20-year, whatever, reunion for your graduating class. And he said, yeah, definitely. That was May 2016 when I said that to him. It is March 2018. Over a year. Almost 2 full years since I told him we need to hang out sometime. We cannot let this be the last time we see each other until like a reunion or whatever. And I'm never going to get the chance to hang out with him again. I never got the chance to go hang out with him. It sucks. You don't realize how quickly life can go sometimes. I didn't think when I said that 2 years later I'd be completely losing the chance to go see him again, to go hang out with him again, to go play D&D or video games or whatever. I figured, okay, we'll try to hang out. We'll probably not be able to because I don't have a license or a car or anything. And then at some point when I finally do get all that stuff done, we'll hang out. And we'll go, I don't know, play D&D or video games or whatever, just reminisce about high school, whatever. But I never got the chance. Don't always try to, I'm stumbling over my words. Always try to get time with the people that you care about. With the people that matter the most, whether they be friends, family, whatever. Always try to make time with them. Because you never know exactly when you're going to lose that chance. I mean, I sure as hell didn't think that 2 years after I said that to my friend, I wasn't ever going to get a chance to see him again. I didn't think that I would be so, I don't know the words to look. I'm struggling over words because this is hard to say. Like, it's hard to say this kind of shit. I didn't think that the person who helped me find a reason to go through that full senior year without losing my mind, even though I didn't go through a full senior year, would be gone so soon. He was 19, guys. 19. Actually, I'm pretty sure he just turned 20. He just turned 20 not too long ago, too. Like a few days ago, he would have turned 20. Or like a week ago, somewhere around there. He would have turned 20 years old. Always make time. Because, trust me, when you realize when there's no chance to make time in the future, the first thing you're going to do is regret not being able to spend more time with somebody. Man, I'm really sorry, guys. Sorry if this is a little bit too heartbreaking, sad, emotional, whatever you want to say. I hope it wasn't too bad. I hope this was bearable to go through. I know it's painful for me to say, so it's probably painful for you guys to watch. Stay cold.